Welcome to Wargroove 2. This series is all about me doing some quick play and explaining what I'm doing so that you can learn, and it's generally more fun to watch. This particular episode, I'm playing Wolfar and Devalder. These are two of the most meta, oh my goodness, very meta commanders in Wargroove 2. Um, let's see. I'm trying to figure out where exactly my units are going to go, and I've opted for a very slow opening. For no apparent reason. I haven't learned the perfect way to do this particular map yet, but I'm just going to go over basic strategies that are generally good so that you can get better at the game. First off, a couple things we want to do is consider when I'm going to heal my commander. Now, as you can see, I chose to capture these very safe villages in my territory first. That's a big mistake, because now none of the swords are accompanying my commander into contested territory, the villages that are kind of between the two of us. Generally, you want to go for these villages first. I didn't do that, and so I'm going to end up in a bit of trouble in this game, as you'll see in a turn or two. However, I did do it sort of on this side of the map, so at the very least, this sword will be able to maybe grab these contested villages, but I didn't do it over here, which will let my opponent push into me. However, I do have a plan. Worry not. There is actually a reason, aside from the lesson, that I deliberately didn't go for these villages. And that has to do with this special thingy right here, the hideout. I figure I'm going to let my opponent steal this from me. It might look like I'm in a bad position after all. Now my commander has nowhere to heal, which is pretty bad. But just give me a few turns and I'll show you what I'm really planning, because I'm going to steal this village right back. That being said, outside of sneaky tactics, it is generally bad to do what I did. As you can see, my opponent having this contested village and not prioritizing their safe villages as much is giving them a much more aggressive position, right? If we take a look at the economy, they're ahead right now, not by an unreasonable amount, but still, I gotta be a little careful. I gotta be a little careful here. All right, so I'm gonna grab this village, plan to get that one next, and then grab this one, because if I don't, Valder will take it, and we don't want that. And so on this side of the map, I did get the contested villages, the villages kind of in between the two of us, right? This one right here is pretty contested, and since I have it, Valder can't take it from me. Just like I'm gonna do to them, they could steal it back, but just like not right now. This sword, I'm gonna be a little bit bad and move it backwards to the safe villages. But that's okay. That's okay, because it's in a position to grab this village next, and this sword is gonna move up to grab that village over there. Now, as for Wolfar, I'm going to put Wolfar in a very precarious position. The sword can hit me, but it's a bit of a bluff. I'll be totally fine. And really, I'm planning to get a thief pretty soon. But for right now, it's still a little bit too early for that. Instead, I'm just going to build a doggo. And the reason I'm building a dog here is because they built a lot of swords, and this dog will help fight those swords, scare them away, and then I can bring in the thief next turn. I'm also going to build a dog over here. And I'm fighting Valder, who likes to build a lot of swords, so dogs will also be pretty useful. If we take a look at the economy here, I'm a little bit ahead at the end of my turn, which is generally where you want to be. When you end your turn, you want to be ahead, and if that's the case, you're doing well enough. All over, I think I'm not doing that bad. I'm not doing that bad. If we take a look at the contested villages, the villages in the middle of the map, my opponent has one, I have one. They're about to capture another one, I'll capture another one. So, even though my opening was a little bit slow, I did go for these passive and safe villages maybe a little bit too early. It seems like I'm doing okay as long as I have as many of these contested villages as my opponent does. So yeah, I'm doing all right, actually. I'm doing fine. And now we just have to try to steal them, these contested villages. We have to get them on our side before our opponent is able to take the ones that we're controlling. Alright, they built a knight here, and that messes up my plans a bit. I wanted to build a thief. The problem is, if I build a thief, what do I do about this very scary knight? Oh no, I could be in a bit of trouble, right? So I might, maybe I don't want to build a thief right now. Maybe if I do that, the knight will be able to harass me. I have to think about it a little bit. But I do have a bit of an advantage. Take a look, right? my opponent is just a little bit of economy ahead at the end of their turn. But I'm going to be able to grab every single village I'm missing. I'm going to be able to grab this one, this one, this one, this one. And then I'll have as many contested villages as them and all the rest of the villages. So I'm going to finish capturing all of my villages first. So I think I'll be in a pretty good position. You can kind of tell if you're winning or losing based on a couple of things. Who has more contested villages? The answer is we have about the same. Who has more economy at the end of their turn? They have more at the end of their turn, I have more at the end of my turn, so we're about even. So yeah, this is a pretty tied game so far, a very even game. All right, I'm going to capture this village, and then boom, heal Wolfar. That was my secret plan. I want to heal Wolfar right in range of this contested village, so I can use Wolfar to knock it down. Sort of my sneaky plan there. And now I have all of my contested villages, and we can maybe start taking my opponents. Now, since that knight looks really scary, I do want something to deal with it, maybe. I'm not sure if I'm ready to build a thief just yet. I'm not positive if that's the right thing to do, you know? I want to be a little careful here. That is a scary knight. So let's take a minute and see if we can afford to build that thief, because what'll we do? If we build the thief, we're going to steal from this village, right? We don't really have anything that can capture it back, because the swords are going to threaten these tiles. The knight's going to come over here and threaten these tiles. So we won't really be able to use the thief, because this knight and all these swords, they can only walk this way, right? Think about it. Where is your opponent going to move? They're going to go this way. They're going to go this way, either towards my stronghold, towards this village, or over here. If I build the thief, they'll definitely go over here to stop my thief. So, you know, maybe I want my own knight. That just looks kind of better. If I build my own knight, I can fight their knight, I can take this village. It won't be as good as the thief, but I think it's pretty good. And on this side, I'll just build a dog, because like I was saying before, dogs are really good against Valder. You know, we want to defeat Valder. Oh, yeah, Valder's building a lot of swords. Try to save up for their tier 2 groove. But I'm not that worried, because they didn't heal their commander like I did. They didn't have a plan to heal their commander like I did. And that's one of the big things I want to teach you. Always have a plan to heal your commander. You know, I knew that I was going to heal my commander. I had a plan. I want to get my commander over here, heal them. That was my plan on this village. You should always know which village you're going to heal your commander on ahead of time, before you even move them on your first turn, right? And I knew I was going to bring them over here and heal them on this village. And my opponent finally did the same thing, but because they, you know, they weren't sure where they were going to heal it, it wasn't a part of their plan, they got stuck and let me do it faster. And it's always better to do things first, to do things faster. It gives you an advantage if you can be the first one to do something. So keep that in mind. Have a plan as to where to heal your commander. I can't say it enough times. Alright, so let's take a look at what my opponent is planning. Alright, Valder wants to hit one of these villages. Can I stop Valder? Not really. It doesn't look like I can stop Valder. Valder's going to knock down one of these villages. This village looks a little bit low, but my sword won't make it in time to knock it out, so I can't really attack. And these knights look pretty scary. So I gotta respect them. I gotta be careful. So it's gonna be a contest, really, to see who can knock down these contested villages first, right? Valder wants to hit one of these, and I want to hit one of these. And these knights are kind of stopping me. And that's one thing my opponent did a little bit better. They built knights first, you know. They built knights before I did. And then they're very scary. I've got to respect them. I've got to be careful. So I need to think where I can safely attack, right? Where I can attack that my commander isn't going to die to these knights. Now, luckily, I'm playing Wolfar. Wolfar is very, very good at fighting knights early on, because once I get my groove, I can use my tier 1 groove and kill a knight. Whereas Valder can't do that. Valder can summon a sword, which will help, but yeah. Alright, so which of these contested villages do I want to knock down? Well, if I stand here, I'll get crit by this knight. That looks kind of bad. Maybe I don't want to do that. If I stand here, a bunch of knights can hit me. And that looks pretty bad. Well, what if I stand here? Yeah, that looks pretty good. This knight can hit me, but it won't be a critical strike. And there aren't that many other units in the way. I'm going to knock down this village. Because there isn't really much that can threaten me. You know, that can hurt me for doing that. I'm not going to be punished for doing that. And I'm going to back this up with my knight. And try to say, haha, you know, I can knock down this village now. I can attack your knights if you go in on me. So I'm very imposing. I'm very threatening, right? Now I'm going to put this dog over here. This knight cannot hit it. This knight cannot hit it. These swords can hit it, but I don't really care. And I'm going to bring in this sword. So Wolfar is sort of protecting all of these units. Wolfar is like the wall that all the other units are hiding behind. And I hit a contested village, which is really great. Alright, so now what's my opponent going to do? They're going to attack these villages, so I just want to position a bunch of things, maybe out of Valder's way, you know, but like in range to hit everything else, like this sword, for example, that dog, when they go in. So that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. And now I can start doing other things. I can be like, okay, they've got a bunch of knights. What could I build that would be really annoying to a bunch of knights? A harpy! Harpies do big damage to knights. It'll force my opponent to start building mages, which aren't so good against all my dogs and swords and stuff. Yeah, I'll do that. What else do knights not like? Pikes. Knights don't like dealing with pikes, so I'll build a pike, move it slowly forward. That looks pretty good. What else? Well, there are no knights over here. I'm just fighting Valder over here, so I'll probably just keep building dogs over here for now. Just keep it cheap, keep it very useful. And that's it. That's my turn. All I accomplished was knocking down this one village. That's it. Just knocking down this one village that's contested, not even capturing it. But at the end of my turn, I'm ahead, which means I'm doing well. And that's all I need to do. That's all I need to do. I don't need to do anything more than this. Because let's talk about what my opponent needs to do now, because I put them in a bad spot, right? Sure, their commander can copy me and knock something down here, but all my dogs are scaring away their other units. Their commander might end up alone if they go in over here, right? I could surround them, maybe. I've got a harpy coming in. They've got to be careful. You know, they don't have anything that can kill this harpy. I could trap their commander. So they're a little bit afraid where to put their commander. What else do they need to worry about? Well, I'm building up all of these units here behind Wolfar. They capture the village back, but now I can hit that sword. Now they got to defend that sword, right? So they're thinking about all these things. I'm making them think about all these things. Or they can choose to ignore all these things, and then I'll just, well, kick their butts. But, you know, if they're playing well, they're going to think about all these things. So they attack this village, and so that I wouldn't, you know, surround their commander or something, they went in with this dog. But this is great for me. This is really, really good for me. Because even though they knocked down that village, right? Even though they knocked down this village, I can kill this dog and run my dog back and heal it. So I'll have a dog and they won't. I'll be up one dog. That's great. That's really, really good. It's a small advantage, but those advantages build. You know, they build over time. So that's just great for me. And they built a mage because they had to, because I built this harpy. However, the mage is like all the way over here. My harpy's over here. Maybe I could bring it here and harass Valder, unless they build another mage. And if they do, then they've wasted a lot of money on mages for no reason. And I still have a harpy I can play with. You know, so it's really, really good to build the first knight. My opponent did that, sadly. That's why they're kind of scaring me away with all these knights. But it's also really, really good to build the first harpy, right? I built the first harpy, and now my opponent has to build all this anti-air, and they don't even have any harpies. So good for me. So good for me. Alright, so what I'm going to do, because I'm already planning my turn during my opponent's turn. I'm going to finish off this dog, right? I'm going to finish off this dog. I'm going to run this dog back and heal it. Then I'm going to recapture this village. And the reason I'm going to do all that is because I want to waste Valder's time as much as possible. Make it very, very difficult for Valder to do anything useful. If I do all that, it'll be difficult to steal this village from me. I can bring in the harpy. Okay. So my opponent took their turn, right? What can I do? Well, I can start bringing in this pike. But unfortunately, it's not really in range of the battle yet. You know, these knights still look pretty scary, right? They could kill my commander if I'm not careful. One thing I'd like to do is just attack this sword. Maybe build a thief, steal from this village, force them to fight me next to these pikes. That could be really good for me, right? Actually, I like that a lot. I'm going to build a thief. And the reason that I'm building a thief, the reason I'm doing this, is because it will force them to fight me. They won't be able to ignore me any longer because I built this thief. I'm also going to build another knight. Knights very good against other knights, swords, and mages. So everything they have here is weak to knights. And it's very fast, so it can get into a fight over here quickly. Now, I'm going to consider whether I want to risk my commander now or later. If I risk my commander now, I could knock down this village, I could steal this village. But then what's the thief do? You know, then the thief is out of options. They'll just back up and retreat. That's a tough call. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And the reason that I'm doing this, even though it's going to let a bunch of things hit my commander, is first of all, I have Groove now, so I can kill one of the knights. Yeah, I'm going to keep this knight where it is, because I like it threatening to crit that village. I'm going to put this sword over here. And back this one up, kind of like this. There, that looks good. Yeah. Oh, sorry, give me a sec. I need to take my turn quickly, because I'm running out of time. I'm going to kill this like I said, heal this like I said, grab this village back like I said. And then it's just a bunch of posturing, because Valder can only attack one thing. So I can just put whatever there that I want to, and build more dogs. Okay, done. Alright, so I had to do that a little bit quickly. So the reason I'm allowing my commander to be attacked is because I know my commander can't be killed here. I know that they don't have enough damage to kill my commander. And the reason I flipped this village is because if they try to flip it back, right? If they try to take this village from me and flip it back or something, then I'm going to steal it. If they try to fight me here, I'm going to win. But if they retreat, right? If they back away, then I can push forward with a thief. And they'll have to keep all these units here. They won't know what to do about it, right? One thing I could have done, and you might be wondering why I didn't do this, I could have just left this village in their property and then tried to steal from it next turn to, like, trick them into fighting me. But I didn't want to do that because it wasn't aggressive enough. By capturing this village, I force them to suffer a 200 gold loss, plus I still have the thief, right? I can steal from something else. I force them to suffer a 200 gold loss or attack me. Also, it gave me enough groove charge that I can have my groove. So sometimes, even if you're building a thief, it's good to take a village anyway, just so you have an aggressive position, right? Alright, so Valder hit this sword, but because it was on flagstone, Valder couldn't kill it. And now, none of these other units can hit any of my stuff. So Valder had to dedicate all of these other swords to knocking down the village, right? Whereas I was able to do it with just Wolfar. Because my dogs were zoning out all of their swords, right, they were not able to do that. And now, on my turn, I can potentially attack some of these swords. I've got a Harpy that can't do much because there's a mage there. But if the mage ever lets itself get hit by my dogs, then all of a sudden, I could throw in the Harpy, right? So, I'm really just trying to annoy my opponent here, slow them down a little. I'm just trying to slow them down with really cheap units so I can win this fight over here. Because notice, they knock down the village, but they don't have it. I have the village. And I have a thief coming out, right? So my position is just slightly better. It's just better. Even just a little advantage like this can grow to a bigger advantage over time. And look, they're backing off. They're backing off. So what I probably want to do now is flip or steal from this village. This village is my new target. Ooh. Ooh, this is tempting. This is tempting. My opponent is sort of tempting me to attack here. They put their mage in knight crit range, and Wolfar could go over here and golf this knight. The problem is if I do that, I'm worried my commander might get surrounded or die. There's probably a way to figure it out to make it safe, but I'm not sure if I want to. Because if I go in with this knight, for example, if I were to do that, this pike would then be able to hit my knight. And I just don't need to take a risk like that. There's just not a need for me to take a risk like that. Instead, I'll just flip this village. Right? Now, their knight can hit my knight. Sure it can, absolutely. But do I care? That's the question. Do I care that that can happen? Because I have a knight lined up with a crit, right? I've grabbed this village now, so I have so many of the contested villages. If their knight hits my knight, I'll just knight crit it back and kill it. I can put Wolfar over here. Let's make sure I don't die first. Yep, I'm good. They can only hit me from 2 tiles. The sword can suicide, but I'll still live. And then I'll put a sword behind that just to keep it safe. We could hit the mage. It's just not worth it, so I don't. And now let's think. Yeah, I'll just use the pike to kind of protect my thief and threaten to steal this village next so that they have to worry about that, you know? Okay, now let's focus on the fight over here. I'm going to do big damage to this sword. It doesn't look like I can hit that one. So I'm going to run this away. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm just going to put it here. I'll capture the village with it. I'll capture the village with it. I didn't want to lose it. But I don't think there's a big danger of that happening. And the reason I'm being very aggressive with the dogs is because if I can hit the mage, then my harpy's invincible. So it's allowing me to be a little bit aggressive. Okay, I'm almost out of time, because I've been explaining a lot of stuff. I think I need a knight on this side, because they built one. So I need one too. We're going to be super aggressive with this, but not too aggressive, because there's a mage over there. And I'm going to go ahead and build another, an archer, because I feel like slowly pushing an archer over here could be useful over time. My harpy might have been able to hit something, I'm not sure, but I had to move quickly, and I am explaining everything I'm doing as I'm doing it, which is taking up a bit of my concentration. So, you see, like, just getting small advantages, I'm already up hugely on units, right? And economy. I'm just winning. And I have all the contested villages. I have all 4 right now. We're talking about how important those contested villages were. Well, now I have all of them. And even just having 2 of my opponent's villages is a 400 gold advantage, right? So Valder keeps hurting my swords, attacking my units, decapping these villages, but have they really killed any of my units? Like, have they really destroyed? They got one of them. They were able to destroy one of my units, maybe one of my dogs. And all of their stuff is super weak. And this mage doesn't know where to stand because I have dogs zoning it out, right? And I'll be able to hit these swords next turn. So for every one of my units they kill, I kill a unit. And on top of that, they've been stuck here, not being able to attack anything other than this one village for all of this time, right? And even better, if you look at where Valder's standing, right in range of my knight crit. So everything I've been doing on this side of the map, I haven't been trying to win. I haven't been trying to win. I've just been trying to hold on to this village and kill as many of their units as they kill of mine. Okay, so this just happened. This just happened, and we were talking about this. We were talking about this and why it was important. Wow, that actually did a lot of damage. We were talking about this and why it was important, right? They hit my knight. Why am I okay with that? Because this knight, my other knight, will come in and crit their knight, killing it, and then this knight can just heal, and it's totally fine. So that's why I was okay with this happening, because overall, I should win the trade, right? Now, they brought in a mage to heal this knight, and you see that sword hit my commander, great damage on my commander, but now the sword is super weak. So even though they attacked my commander, they might even stop me from using Groove, but I don't care, because I'll be able to do so much damage, right? Actually, I think I still Groove here. Because, yeah, this is just great for me. There's so much damage I can do here. I just have to make sure my commander doesn't die. That's the important thing. Make sure your commander doesn't die. But, yeah, short of that, I'm fine. I might not even need to crit this knight, because I could bring over the Harpy, and as long as this mage dies eventually, The Harpy's invincible, right? So that's why I brought the Harpy to the middle of the map. I didn't really announce it while I was doing it, because I can attack this knight or this knight. I can attack whichever way I want. All right. So for starters, let's just kill these swords, because I want to make obvious moves first, right? Let's kill these swords. Good. 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 And yeah, it's worth slowing Valder down. I could hit the mage, but my dog will take so much counterattack damage, it's just not worth it, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, that doesn't die. How's that look? So now I'm just kind of trying to see, like, how different attacks look, right? If I stand here and try to golf this, it doesn't look like I'll really be able to kill it. And I can do a lot of damage coming in like that. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about this, right? The best way to do the most possible damage to the most units. I think I would like to use the Harpy in this attack. So I'm going to use the Harpy to attack this knight. And that means I'm committing to killing this mage. Somehow. I don't know how yet. Let's finish it off with the sword. That looks good. That's good damage. I'm going to attack this with the dog. Good. Now remember, I've committed to killing this. Because I put the Harpy in range... Oh, it's going to die to the witch. I didn't see they built the witch. That was silly. Well, Wolfar can kill the witch as long as I don't use Groove. All right, now I get the sword crit. Huge damage, right? Huge damage there. Do it like this. All right, now I'm going to back up and heal Wolfar here. And I didn't kill this. I didn't kill this, but it's so weak it can't kill the Harpy. They have to use the witch to kill my Harpy. And then when they do that, it's just going to be great for me because I'll be able to Wolfar Groove the witch and kill the witch. All right, I'm going to heal this knight. And I'm going to bring in this knight. Bring in this archer. This sword is scaring me a little bit, so I'm not going to move too far forward. And I'm running out of time, so I got to move quickly. Pike and mage, because they've started building air. And once your opponent starts building air, you should really build some anti-air. This dog can come over here, because it's not doing much over there. Great! And my turn. Okay. Alright, so, I committed to damaging this mage, because if the mage could hit the Harpy, with full health. Like a 10 health mage, I'm not super worried. But if the mage had a lot of health and could hit the Harpy, then I would lose a 600 gold Harpy for a 400 gold mage. That's just not worth it. But if the witch hits the Harpy, then I can just use Groove to kill the witch, if I can knock it into Flagstone, which I should be able to do. And then they've lost an 800 gold witch. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And also, I'm still bringing in this thief. They have to worry about it, right? Yeah, they did that. So I'm gonna look for flagstone tiles I could golf the witch to. There's some over here, some over here, some over here. All right, the pikes are coming in. They're gonna be a little scary, you know. Maybe I don't even kill the witch. Maybe I just accept losing the Harpy as the cost of doing business, because I did so much damage during that attack. And if I kill these knights, their position is really broken. I don't know. I don't know if I kill the witch. Maybe I don't kill the witch. Maybe I kill the pikes instead. It's good to be flexible. My plan was to groove the witch. And really, I made a mistake. Like, I just didn't see the witch there at all. But I still think it was worth attacking like that because I made them lose so much. Like, I shattered their attack here. I did so much damage here. And look, they spent all that gold healing their units. What are they going to build this turn? They only have 500 gold left to build. Well, as I'm going to have a great attack. I've got Tier 2 Groove. Valder is working towards Tier 2 Groove, which is a little scary. One thing I haven't been talking about a lot, you want to make sure that Valder doesn't kill your stronghold while you're not paying attention. I've been dedicating a lot of stuff over here, and I'm threatening to kill their stronghold. But I'm not defending my own very well. So it's something I gotta keep in mind. Also, you can use Valder to just kill your opponent from across the map. That's something else that I might do. That's something else that I might do just for fun. Yeah, you see, my opponent is defending their stronghold because Wargroove is really threatening. Look at this. Um, I could get a Night Crit on their stronghold and then Groove to do even more damage to the stronghold. Just take it out. I could just kill the stronghold with Wolfar plus the Knight. You know, even with that blocker, I could still do it. So I have two ways to win the game right now. I have two different ways to win the game. One is with this Knight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could crit the stronghold. I just have to kill this sword, and that's easy to do. I move the dog there, boom. Move the sword there, boom. Knight crit, boom. Golf something, it doesn't matter. Boom, boom, tons of damage, right? Right? The catch is, I don't think it's enough damage. I think the stronghold would live. But Valder, on the other hand, will not live. Valder is super dead. I think I'm just going to kill Valder from across the map. Alright, so with Wolfar's Tier 2 Groove, we can have some bouncy fun. And deal tons of damage. Boom, boom, boom. And Valder dies. GG, we win. Yeah, they really should have healed Valder. They really should have healed Valder or protected their commander a little bit more. You notice how I made sure to heal my commander instead of grooving last turn? Like, I could have killed the knight and the mage if I used groove, but I didn't. I brought my commander back to heal them. And that's kind of why, like, you've got to be a little careful with your commander. That's why I healed my commander. And they chose not to heal their commander. They did not respect my damage, and I killed them. I was winning anyway. Like, I was winning that game anyway. I had stronghold threats. I could wipe out their army. I had tons more gold than they did. But yeah, if they're going to give me the winning position, I'm just going to take it. There's no need to draw out the game. GG, great game, excellent. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for helping me showcase Wolfar.